Hi, Jill Landry here. Recoveringwoman.com is my website and blog. Just kind of getting it going. Finally have the energy. So I wanted to give a quick explanation. Maybe not quick. Sometimes my videos last a little longer than quick. So I had quick background, I should say. You can catch some of my other videos. I had a tubal ligation, endometrial ablation, September 2018, and then just a little bit later, about 2 months later, September, October, November, December, about 2.5 months later, I had a tubal reversal. So I wanted to hop on and let women know why I would have a tubal reversal after I had a tubal ligation, right? So you're having a tubal ligation because you don't want to have any more kids and you want to make sure that it's permanent, and the doctors tell you there's no side effects. Well, my doctor did anyways. I was actually kind of excited going into surgery because I thought, this is great. I don't have to deal with birth control, no more IUDs, no more none of that, because I'm at a point in my life where I just don't want any more children. I'm very happy with where I was at in my life, and I thought, this is great. And then my gynecologist recommended an endometrial ablation because you're not having any more kids and you have heavy periods. So here we go. And I was like, yes, sign me up. No more kids, no more periods. I mean, let's do this, right? So, why would you get a tubal reversal if you had a tubal ligation? Well, I developed what I know to be post-tubal ligation syndrome, PTLS. And I found myself, after a couple weeks after my tubal ligation, searching for these symptoms and what was going on with me. It was like I was going through menopause. It was really weird. I had hot flashes, like immediately after I woke up from the surgery, the tubal ligation and ablation surgery. I had hot flashes. I had a constant headache that wouldn't go away. I was very, very fatigued. I couldn't even get up and take my kids to school. My brother ended up coming and helping me for a week because I ended up in the emergency room 2 or 3 different times. I didn't know what was going on with me. And I thought I was sick. I thought I was dying. I didn't even immediately attribute it to the surgery. But the reason I chose to do the reversal was because I had done the research, and so many women that were suffering the side effects of a tubal ligation, or even I've seen a lot of women suffer side effects from having their tubes just removed. It messes with your hormones. Now, some women are not affected. It's actually, it seems like it's very few that don't suffer any side effects whatsoever. But what I found out was having that reversal done and reconnecting everything, after your body has time to heal, being able to reconnect those receptors and make everything work the way that it's intended to, a lot of those symptoms disappear. So you can catch some of my other videos, and I talk about my story, you know, kind of how I feel a year later. I'm coming up on a year today. And I decided on a reversal very quickly. I didn't want to wait because all the things that I had read, it progressively gets worse. The symptoms continue to appear. And then what I was also reading is women, you know, we go through menopause at a certain age. Well, a lot of that messes with our hormones that are directly connected to bone loss and memory. And like, once you start really beginning to understand what our uterus and tubes and our reproductive system do, you think, oh, it's just for baby making, but it's not. There's receptors in there that are actually connected up to our brain. So that's where the memory loss and brain fog and things like that came in. And I decided I was 36 years old. I'm not messing with that kind of shit right now. I needed to do whatever I needed to do to get it done. So I began my research. There are several really great reversal doctors. What I was running into was a lot of them didn't necessarily it wasn't that they didn't believe in post-tubal ligation syndrome, but they didn't want to go in and do the reversal and say, we know that we can fix you. Okay. A lot of reversal doctors will say, we know that we can help you get pregnant. I did not want to get pregnant. So a lot of times I was running into the doctors not wanting to do the reversal because I was only wanting to do it based on the PTLS symptoms that I was having. I found a handful of doctors that were willing to do it. The other roadblock that came up for me was I had an ablation. And I had an endometrial ablation. It was a NovaSure ablation. And a lot of the reversal doctors, they just didn't want to do it because there was other things that could go on, right? So I had found two main doctors that I was looking at. A lot of you are going to have questions if your insurance will cover it. 98% of the time, no. This procedure cost me with travel over $8,000. And it was worth every penny. I'm so glad I did it. But insurance won't cover it. So I was looking at Dr. Monteith, I think is how you say his name, in North Carolina. I cannot remember the name of their company, A Perfect Choice, I want to say. Anyways, Dr. Monteith, I think it's Monteith. Very good reversal doctor. And then Dr. Maurice in Louisiana was the two that I narrowed it down to. So I want to stop right here real quick and say that there is a very good private Facebook group called Post-Tubal Ligation Syndrome. It's what helped me figure out what I needed to do, my symptoms. It's a group of women that you can connect with. I believe we're a little over 8,000 strong right now, and really great, really great women that have helped me through a lot of things over the last 12 months. Helped me search for my reversal doctor, answered the questions that I had, gave me suggestions on how to handle and deal with things, and sometimes just listen to me vent. So if you want that, I will put the link below this video so that you can get into that group. Make sure you answer the questions and read the rules, because we're very strict on what we allow in the group. So there's that. And if you want to know ways to raise money to be able to afford this, I use some of my down payment. I put some money on credit cards. I also have a Shopify store, and I do social media management. So reach out to me on Facebook. I can show you, I got a couple of free groups, and then I have some paid training also to show you how to start a Shopify store, maybe make some extra money to be able to pay for your reversal. So I chose Dr. Maurice in Louisiana for my reversal. And at the time, the reversal was $5,500. And I had to fly from North Dakota to Louisiana, scared to death. What if something happened? I'm so far away from family. My husband could not go with me at the time. I had a very close friend go with me. And I'm not going to lie, I was scared. The tubal was the first time I had ever been put under anesthesia. So for me, this was a big deal. I was going back under anesthesia. My body does not tolerate anesthesia very well. I'm a good 30 days before I detox and nauseous almost the whole time. So I was very nervous. But after doing the research, after talking to multiple women, I knew that this was something I needed to do. I wasn't going to wait and see if my symptoms subsided. They didn't. I was in surgical menopause roughly within 2 weeks. My blood work showed it, and I knew it. So I had to do something, and I had to do it quickly. Through tons of very quick, always searching and reading and connecting with other women, connecting with other doctors. Dr. Maurice, I chose him because they do have, they have some really great women in their office that have studied PTLS and have read about it and go to seminars about it. Dr. Maurice believes that it is a thing. He doesn't exactly know why. He's got his own ideas and will not guarantee that you're going to feel better after surgery. I literally, of the hundreds of women that I've talked to that have had a reversal to get rid of these symptoms, there's only been maybe a handful that didn't feel better, and maybe 2 or 3 that their symptoms got worse. I was willing to take that chance at having some of my life back. So this video is about the reversal, so I'm going to try and stick to that. To get very specific at what happened, I got my plane tickets. I contacted, you can contact Tally now down at Dr. Maurice's office in Louisiana. Margie was the first woman I talked to, and God, she made me feel so much better. It made me feel like I wasn't going crazy, and she knew a lot about PTLS. But Tally is in office now. Margie, I believe, is retired. But they're really, really great. And I contacted them. I sent my records to them from my procedure. They were confident that based on the records, I would have enough tube to reconnect. There's always that chance that you can get in there or pay for it. And there's nothing that they can do. Very slim, but it happens. So I paid my deposit. It was a $1,500 deposit to hold the date. And as long as you pay before you show up, if you pay cash, you got a discount. You can put it on credit cards. I believe you can use Care Credit also. And we paid for everything. We got the plane tickets. The surgery center, so the surgery in Louisiana doesn't happen in a hospital. The hospital's very close. It happens in an outpatient surgery center. Now, what I found out was I could stay at the surgery center the night before my surgery. And I was being taken in at 7 o'clock in the morning to have the surgery. I actually flew into Louisiana around noon that day, the day before my surgery. Went and seen Dr. Maurice and did all my pre-workups that day. They were done by evening. Drove over to the surgery center. I want to say it's about 30 minutes from his office. Drove to the surgery center and got situated in my room. My friend ended up staying the night there with me that night. The surgery center nurses were awesome. I had trouble with one nurse. She could not seem to get an IV in, and after the third time I asked her to leave and find somebody else. So you have to advocate for yourself. This has been one of the biggest lessons that I have learned through all of this. You have to advocate for yourself because nobody is going to take care of you the way you will take care of you. So other than that, the women at the surgery center were absolutely phenomenal. They helped every step of the way, answered all my questions, and they had done so many procedures. They knew what PTLS was. They watched women wake up from surgery and feel better. So going in, I couldn't, I was nervous, I was scared, but I was so excited. So we got settled. They got my IV done that night, so that I was ready for surgery first thing in the morning. My friend stayed with me that night. We were up very early. I believe I was being prepped about 6 a.m. They wheeled me down to where we kind of waited. Everybody waited for the doctors to come in the pre-op room, and Dr. Maurice came in and he talked to me. He asked me if I was nervous, if I was scared. He prayed with me and basically said, I will see you after surgery. We'll see you after surgery. And did I have anybody with me? At that time, I didn't have anybody. My friend was there. I told her, I'm like, hey, go get something to eat and come back in a couple hours. Surgery should be done. So he didn't get to talk to her. I remember getting the anesthesia and I was falling asleep on my way through the hallway. Next thing I knew, I woke up. I immediately, when I opened my eyes, my headache was gone. From the time I got my tubal ligation to the time I went in for a reversal, I had a headache every single day. From the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. And some days it would turn into a migraine where I was vomiting. Never had those issues really before. Would I get an occasional headache? Yeah. So I woke up from surgery and Dr. Maurice actually was already gone, so I didn't get to talk to him. But he left me a full note on how my surgery went. My tubes were, one side was 3, one side was 3.5 centimeters left. When they did the endometrial ablation, I had so much scar tissue form so quickly that it went up through my tube. So he had to disconnect that tube, clean it out, reconnect it. He went into my uterus and cleaned out as much scar tissue as he could, letting me know that it could possibly form again. Seems like my body forms a lot of scar tissue. I'm not sure why, but I'm coming to find out that I may have some issues there. So no more surgeries if we can stay away from it. The first couple hours after surgery, I was sore. You know, they cut you. I've had 2 prior C-sections, and they cut me on the same, there was no additional scars, but they cut me on the same spot. And like I said, I immediately, my headache was gone within a couple of hours. My brain fog, because it was just very heavy the months that I was tied. I just felt very, you know, kind of just dragging. The brain fog, like my mental clarity was insane within 24 hours after surgery, after having the reversal done. We were able to stay that night, the night of surgery. And so I flew in on a Tuesday. We stayed the night in the surgery center Tuesday night. Surgery was on a Wednesday morning. I stayed Wednesday night there. And then I stayed, did I stay Thursday night? Nope, I stayed Wednesday night there, and we ended up leaving the surgery center Thursday afternoon, and those stays at the surgery center were included in my price for the reversal. So Thursday afternoon, I was up walking, I was up moving around, I was sore, I'm not gonna lie. Pain meds were great. I stayed on top of them. My friend helped me with that because I'm one that I don't like to take a lot of medication, and she could tell when I was in pain. I had already called the airlines. I let the airlines know I was going to need a wheelchair. I was going to need help. We had connecting flights. I'm in North Dakota. There's no way that I could get a direct flight. I actually had 2 connecting flights. So I had called the airlines. I let them know I was going to need a wheelchair. So we left the surgery center on Thursday. We stayed at the Hilton across from the airport in Louisiana. Did I fly in New Orleans? I think it was New Orleans. We stayed at the Hilton right across from the airport because our flight took off early the next day. So Thursday night we stayed there. Not gonna lie, I was in a lot of pain. Lots of pain. It was very hard to sleep. It was very hard to move. My friend helped me out tremendously, and we got up very early Friday morning. We went and returned the car. I waited. The airports were extremely helpful. They were waiting at the gates for me with a wheelchair, and the plane, like all of it, was it painful and hard? Yeah, the plane ride was rough. Take a pillow to keep in front of your belly. I never advocate for taking lots of pain medication, but I knew that I was going to need it on the trip home. So I made sure and stayed ahead of my pain meds. I didn't wait till I needed them. I stayed ahead of the pain meds because I knew it was just for a day or 2. And then once I got home and started healing, I would feel better. So it went well. Flights went well. I got home. It took me a couple of weeks. It took me a couple of weeks to start really feeling better. My symptoms, a lot of them started going away like immediately. So do I regret the reversal? No, not at all. Would I do it again? Yes. I still have some lingering symptoms. I'm still managing additional anxiety. I've had a panic attack, one since my reversal. I have bladder issues that I never had before. I don't know if that was from the ablation, the tubal, or the reversal. It could be any and all. It could be scar tissue. I feel about 80 to 85% better since the tubal. And if I could go back and undo all of it, I definitely would, but I can't. So I definitely stand beside my decision to have a reversal. If you are suffering from post-tubal ligation syndrome, if your symptoms are debilitating and they're unmanageable, I highly recommend looking into a reversal to feel better. There's other ways to manage unwanted pregnancies, and I'm not advocating for abortion. I'm not advocating for adoption. I'm not advocating for anything. I'm not telling you what to choose, what not to choose. But there's other ways of doing birth control. If you're worried about getting pregnant after a reversal, there's a high risk for ectopic pregnancies. Lots of things to consider if you're going to consider a reversal. I knew mine was so fast that I knew I just wanted my life back. I knew that I just wanted to feel better. I knew I wanted a chance at keeping body parts and not having them removed. So I chose a reversal after knowing that I was suffering from post-tubal ligation syndrome. And it wasn't something that I needed a referral for because I was paying cash. It wasn't something that I needed somebody to diagnose me with because there really isn't very many doctors that will diagnose you with it. I haven't been back to my gynecologist. And when they told me that I could have hormone replacement and I said I'm going to get a reversal, they thought I was nuts. They said that's not going to work, that's not going to help. And I can tell you that it helped tremendously. So at the end of the day, I am a year later, I'm still healing. I'm still figuring it out. I'm also 37 years old. So as many women know, we start to go through some kinds of changes. I work very hard to be healthy, mentally more so even than physically, because that matters. I refuse to let this ruin my life, the rest of my life. I refuse to not talk about it. I refuse to not tell other women about it. I wish maybe I would have known. Maybe that wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe it was supposed to happen to me so that I could share. I happen to be pretty loud on social media. I don't have a problem talking about things. And I hope that if you're watching this video and you're considering a tubal ligation, you'll maybe rethink it or at least go into it armed with information. I hope that if you have post-tubal ligation syndrome, this will help you to maybe think about why you should get a reversal or maybe why you shouldn't. You know, what's right for one isn't right for everybody. So hit the subscribe button. I'm not sure where this channel is going to go, but I do know that there's women searching for these videos because I was one of them. So hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified when I put out new videos. I also put out new videos. Like I said, I have a Shopify store, and I will occasionally put out just free videos to show people how to do that. It's another inexpensive way to make some money from home to maybe raise the money for reversals. Or if you're managing things naturally, supplements, naturopaths, they can get expensive. So thank you so much for listening. Hit the subscribe button and share with your friends if you think that this video could help them. Thanks.